Good Saturday morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for the next 7 days. Next few days, impact-wise, we do have a front coming through with showers and thunderstorms on the drier side, where our fuels are the driest. We'll see that in a moment up here in the mountains of central Idaho. But further south and east, those showers should be getting progressively wetter, and in some cases very wet across portions of eastern Idaho, far northern Utah. We'll see that trend actually continuing on Monday as that front stalls. We could see some significant amounts of rain in southern portions of Idaho, northern Nevada, parts of Utah, drier still over the mountains of central Idaho. Over the past 24 hours, lightning activity quite a bit concentrated in southern Nevada and parts of Utah on the wetter side. A mix of wet and dry up here in the mountains of central Idaho. We'll have to watch today with the possibility of some holdovers. You see precipitation here on the left-hand side. Initial attack picking up a little bit. New fire starts in the red, existing fires in the yellow. And if we look at precipitation over the past 7 days, not including the last 24 hours, we see where it has been quite dry across the mountains of central Idaho, especially the western side, but how much wetter it has been to the south. And we see that wetter trend across the south continuing over the 30-day cycle. ERC conditions, again, you see where our most critical fuels stand out up here in the mountains of central Idaho and trailing back down to parts of far northwest Nevada, but across southern areas our ERCs are still quite moist. We look at our 100-hour fuels, nothing below 5 for the most part, but our most critical actually a little bit right there in far western Idaho in our central mountains. Otherwise, in some of the grass and brush where it's been dry for a couple of days, we could still continue to see some fire starts picking up. Here's a look at our satellite imagery as we go into the loop here with upper level maps. You see the moisture here across the Four Corners area kind of pushing off to the north and east. And it's this little pocket of moisture through the mountains of central Idaho that could set up some showers and thunderstorms, a mix of dry and wet. They'll be watching very carefully as this trough of low pressure drops down from the north. So we look at today's weather map. We can see that trough of low pressure approaching. Some areas in green here across parts of southern Idaho and into portions of central Idaho. In this dark area, just enough moisture for thunderstorms, not enough to get them to be very wet. So we do have high risk for lightning across parts of the Payette and into the Sawtooths, which connects with some of the high risk that other geographic areas have further to our north. We look at precipitation and can see that shower and thunderstorm activity could produce some low-end wetting rains, maybe a couple hundredths to a tenth of an inch. We see winds on the right-hand side fairly light in those vicinities of thunderstorms, picking up a little bit further to the south. Now for tomorrow, trough of low pressure drops down out of the Gulf of Alaska, a deeper moisture front setting up just to our north and west. We'll see how much we get in terms of lightning tomorrow. There'll be some winds picking up just to our north and east. And if we go to our precipitation map, you see that precipitation will start picking up across portions of southern Idaho. You see the winds also starting to pick up across southern Nevada, southern Utah, but in these areas feels fairly moist, picking up with the winds across southern Idaho as well. But again, it should be fairly moist there. And then on Monday, there's that front picking up a lot of moisture. You can see a deep green approaching. Our fuels will probably take a bit of a hit during that time period. We see winds fairly light up there, stronger to our south. We'll have to watch this area that has been kind of dry for the last couple of days in terms of the grass and the brush. But again, we see some of the heavier rain along the Nevada, Idaho border and going into parts of western Wyoming. So that should modify things a little bit. Here's our expected precipitation the next 3 days. You can see about a quarter to locally near a half inch across portions of southern Idaho, a bit less to the north and to the south. And if we look at the longer range outlook for Tuesday, that front drags further south. There could be some showers with it. We moisten up quite a bit. Drier air punching into the mountains of central Idaho. We'll have to watch and see how much they dry out if we get any lightning holdover activity. See our fuels dry out during that time period. So we'll have to watch that midweek period quite carefully. Same thing Thursday, warmth and dryness pushes up from the south. No sign of the monsoon, near seasonable temperatures elsewhere. Notice we start drying out a little bit with our PSAs, and that trend continues as we go into Friday. Precipitation over the next 7 days, most of this coming in the first 3 days, very similar to our map through here, otherwise dry across much of Nevada and much of Utah as well. And the long-range outlook, above normal temperatures across the Great Basin, especially western areas, below normal precipitation most other locations. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.